What's poppin', fam? Welcome to Don't Touch My Mindset, a podcast that is designed to uplift, inspire, and motivate you, and most importantly, share tools to help you protect that mindset. Welcome back. It is Sunday. You know what that means. I'm your host, and we are diving into another pivotal moments. This week is a true treat for you. We have a true inspirator on the show coming to you from Minnesota, and just a good friend of mine. So I'm excited. With further delay, I'm going to tell you to check the show notes. Please rate and review, share if something resonated with you, send it to a friend. Check out the website, check out the community space, check out the hoodies. I love you guys. I love you. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with us. We don't just talk about doing the work, we do the work. So keep showing up. I love you guys. Thank you. I always feel like I have to ask. We're here with Blair, the sober activist on Instagram, and I'm super excited to have her on the show. And we are, let's welcome Blair. Hello, Blair. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm super excited you're here. This is our first conversation, first time we're meeting each other.
I know. This is very exciting. I have been excited to talk to you.
Yes. I'm excited to pick your brain, see what's going on in there, girl. So
it's a busy place. It is a busy place.
It's all right. I think I can keep up. We'll be good. Blair, please tell us, who are you? What do you do? What are you doing in the world? What's the mindset? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Blair. I am from Minnesota, born and raised. So I'm in my basement and it's cold right now because I'm in Minnesota, right? Wife and mother. My husband and I have been together for 11 years, married for 6. We have a 5-year-old son. And I currently work full time. I test people's thinking. So my title is psychometrist. So I work in the psych department and give people thinking, memory, attention, problem solving tests. Yes. Never heard of it, have you?
You see that?
Yeah.
I'm so happy right now.
Really?
I'm so happy. It's just got so good.
So I've been doing that for almost 8. Well, in April it'll be 8 years. So yeah, I enjoy that. I also I'm a writer, which is sort of newish to me. Only really since 2019. But of course, I did a lot of the writing when I was much younger. 2018, I decided to quit drinking because it wasn't serving me anymore. It hadn't been for a long time, but I finally cut it out in 2018. And I think that's partially why the writing came back in. I think my creative side really came back to me after that. I think a lot of people recognize that too. So yeah. That's it for now. I don't know what else.
No, you're all good. I love that. You mentioned the creative side, especially after you stopped drinking. And I it's crazy that you're new to writing because you're very, very, very good at it.
Thank you.
And I like writing because I actually dove back into writing when I quit drinking. Mm-hmm. So it's that's why I got so happy. There's so much here. There's so much here that I'm just like, ooh, can we have like a Blair 3-part series?
Yeah, we could. We can. I can talk that long.
I can dissect that much.
Yeah.
Good. So one, I love that you described your job as the title. And you said my title is, and that means you don't identify with it. That's amazing. That self-awareness is commendable. I commend you on that because it took me a long time to get there. And I always admire self-awareness from people. And I'm just like, wow. So I have a question of, when we take away the titles and we take away everything that everybody's ever told us, who is Blair and why is she here?
You know, I don't think that's, I think that's like ever changing. I don't think that it's something that I will maybe I won't even like figure out fully, you know? I think since I quit drinking, that's been the task, right? To like figure out like, who am I? Because for so long it was this, I put a lot of labels on myself, probably just, without even thinking about it before, like party girl, center of attention, always the loud one, the obnoxious one, which I could still be without alcohol, right? This extrovert that I thought I was, turns out I'm not an extrovert. I've just become much more appreciative of like being comfortable. And that means in sweatpants when I can be, but it also means in situations, social situations. Like I've found that I'm like so much more of an introvert now. I don't like going to like places where I have to stand in line, large groups of people, like I'd rather not, if we have plans and like you cancel them, like that's totally fine. Like if you were like 15 minutes ago, if you were like, hey, we have to reschedule, I'd be like, sweet. But I'm happy you did it, right? Like I would have been excited for the next time, but like I'm okay with things like that. Yeah, I think I've just realized like what's important in life, and it's not what I used to think it was. It's just being comfortable, being happy. I don't need like fancy things. I get my clothes from Goodwill if I can, like I just want to be comfortable and make my life as easy as possible, which is also like a bad thing for me because when things go out of order and they get hard, then I really struggle. That's when I really struggle.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, it's kind of a long answer. I don't even know if I answered that.
You did, and I followed, and I liked it. Yeah. Because
I kind of.
No, it's because it boils. If we are stripping away the titles are so easy to label us with, and then we have to think about who we are. And who you are as a person. From what I gathered from what you told me, is that you're somebody who's comfortable with who they are right now, and they're being, who's happy. Yeah. Who used to think that they were doing things that weren't making them happy, but now realize it's the complete opposite.
Right. Or what other people thought I should do, or what I thought, like that. Not always what would make me happy, but what I thought would make me happy, but not really actually making me happy. Right.
No, I'm hip.
Society, what society thinks that we, should do at certain ages, and as a parent, even now, there's so much pressure on parent. That's a whole nother. We could do a whole nother
part 4. There we go. We're building. We're
parenting. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, just for an example of that, like parenting, right? Like Elf on a Shelf, like let's unpack Elf on a Shelf. Now everybody is just so mad that they're doing Elf on a Shelf, and I've never even touched Elf on a Shelf. Like I will not do it. Like everybody thinks you have to do these things as a parent, to post it on Instagram or to post it on Facebook and to get likes and whatever. And, yeah, it's just like, there's so much pressure to do all these things. And I'm just like, I'm just going to do what makes me happy, what makes me comfortable and happy, content, easy, if I can. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like, and that is why you are here. Look, you just answered both questions.
Yay! Yay!
And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I love starting with that. I love starting with that question because it gets people out of their mind and kind of drops them into their body and just kind of allows you to like feel that. But you are here for a reason, Blair.
Yeah.
and that is because I am so interested in your story and who you are, and basically that pivotal moment where you decided to take control of your life and make that shift and pivot for the better, and where things just really, where you really took the driver's seat. And I just want to offer you the spotlight, the mic, all of it. It's all yours, girl.
Thank you. Well, we talked earlier, and I thought that originally when you said pivotal moment, I thought, okay, the day that I decided to quit drinking, because that's, honestly, probably the biggest thing that I'm most proud of in my life, even though, I have a child, and that's probably what I should say, right? Because that's what everybody says. But like, really, I think quitting drinking is almost harder than that. Like, to be honest, anybody can have a baby. Not anybody, but it was hard. So, okay, that's what I originally thought of. But then now that I'm like thinking more about it, I'm thinking having my son was a pivotal moment for me, because kind of like my relationship with alcohol changed after that. It was a lot different. Like, that was like a moment. Throughout my drinking, there's been moments where like, okay, maybe you should like assess this. Maybe this isn't like what you're supposed to be doing. But I just, still did it anyways. Didn't care about myself, didn't care what people thought, didn't care if my husband was mad at me, that kind of thing. I just dealt with it. But after I had my son, it all changed really, because I was now responsible for him. It wasn't just me I was responsible for. So I like actually really did have to care. And that, it sucks to say, because like I should have cared about myself originally, right? But clearly I didn't enough. But he almost like taught me to care about myself. So like I stopped almost for him, because I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't be as hungover as I was and be a good parent. I couldn't, I didn't ever have this off switch with alcohol. So drinking, even with him around, I still didn't stop like at a certain point, like if I had too much or anything like that. So, he was 18 months old when I quit. So it didn't take me too long in that lifestyle of trying to kind of still be this party animal without, that I was before him. And I couldn't hang, and I recognized that. And hang, I don't know, I wasn't hanging on too well, but
no, I was gonna say, were you pulling up to the parties in the minivan yet? In the
yeah, right.
Well,
I will not get a minivan. That's something I will not do. I have an SUV. We have 2 SUVs. I will never get a minivan. My husband will agree with that. He will not get a minivan either.
Yes,
don't. But there's like the play dates or whatever reason you get together. Every stage of life, there's a reason to drink, right? Like it's in college, you're, it's a party, binge drinking. High school, you're kind of like figuring out what is this alcohol? Like you're learning about it. And then young adulthood, you're, maybe a young professional. And so it's the thing you do. You go out after work and hang out with friends and stuff. So parenting, same thing. It's like this new thing, like you deserve it, because you're a parent now and you got to relax, and alcohol is the only way to do that. So yeah, pivotal moment might be when I had my son, and it just took me 18 months to figure it out, to actually like, okay, just give it up. For me, it wasn't worth it to keep going because I knew the outcome every time. I mean, I did it. Like when I got drunk, like when I drank, who knew what was going to happen? Like, let's just cross our fingers that nothing really bad happened, right? But like, I knew that was the outcome, the unknown outcome every time. Like, I didn't have to do any more like investigations about that. Like, I had done enough experimenting, and it was always the same things. And someone gave me kind of the okay. I reached out to a random person on the internet, and they said, "Hey, you don't have to drink anymore." Oh really? Oh, like, I thought in my head, like, oh, I gotta go, like, I'd have to go to like AA and like rehab and like, You all like that's what things you think you have to do, right? Because
Right.
the movies or the TV and whatever.
Right.
I've watched my fair share of interventions, so like and I think it wasn't as bad as those people, right, quote unquote. But I don't think there's just one pivotal moment. I think there's, like you said, I think this is a trick question actually, because you're like, this is a pivotal moment. Like literally everything is a pivotal moment.
We're always pivotal.
Right. Right.
I didn't know it was a trick question until I started these interviews.
So it is a trick question.
I didn't know. I didn't know. You're the one who's telling me.
Either.
I didn't know at all. And as I interview more and more people, every single person says, I don't think there's just one pivotal moment. Every single person. Yes, every single person has said that. And I was just like, and I'm sitting there, like, I did like 3 interviews in one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is really weird. And it always goes deeper than what they're doing. It always goes deeper than like, like how I met him or what I like. Wow. So, and I love that you went really deep. I love that. I love the fact that you went past the point of quit drinking, because I could say my pivotal moment was when I got arrested for my second DWI. Cool. Like, oh, I should have known then. No, not.
Yeah.
No. And I think my pivotal moment was I was released from prison July 1st, and my birthday is June 4th. I turned 24 in prison now. I was like, whoa. Okay, let's reassess.
Right. Right.
And so I'm like, it's so amazing, because you're right. I'm blown away by you and the depth of that, because it takes it to a whole nother, it's not just a pivot for you, it's a pivot for someone else. I get to thinking about my parents, and like, they tried their best, and you said about society's like expectations, like what does that do to you on a mindset of being a mother, of trying to be the best mother you can be? What does that bring up for you?
I've always been pretty selfish, to be honest. I was an only child, growing up. I was selfish when I was drinking. I only cared about myself. And like I said, when I had my son, I still tried to maneuver that way of life for a little bit. I still was selfish for a while. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have ever drank again. You know what I mean? Like, because that was the one thing that was like causing all these negatives in my life. So if I really wasn't selfish, I guess, I would have stopped. I mean, I would have not started drinking again after I had him. I didn't drink, when I was pregnant. I quit right when I found out I was pregnant. No problem, no issues. Didn't really care, like didn't think about it. I knew I couldn't drink, whatever, during that. So it wasn't an issue, but the selfishness, which I still am, let's just put that out there. Like if my husband was here, he would be like, yeah, you still are. And that's just my personality, but I forgot the question that you asked now.
What it brings up, that mindset of trying your best as a parent and not living up to society's expectations.
Now I feel like I'm selfish in that, like, I do what I want to do because I want to do it, not because I see it on Instagram or a certain parent I know is doing this and I need to, be like them, or what I think this idea of a good parent is. Just kind of like giving myself a break, I'm trying to be the best parent for my son. And in order to do that, I just do what I think I need to do. Like, I don't work, if something works for somebody else with their parenting and their kids, that's great. That might not work for me. So like, I'm really still kind of selfish in that way, in a way of like selfish, like with my family, with my son. And I really just think like, I'm not for everybody, and that's fine. Like, I don't like everybody either, like, I don't like, I'm a nice person, but like, we don't get along with everybody. We're all different. Like, I don't need to like everyone. Everyone does not need to like me. Like,
Right.
so if you don't, that's fine. Like, we don't have to be friends, you know, like that's your loss.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I had some friends drop off a little bit.
Oh yes. Oh,
you know,
yes.
here and there, you're not friends with everybody you always were, and you don't have to be. I think that's another thing to realize, like, we change and we grow, and some people grow in a different way, and some people, you know, grow in a different direction. And like, who I was when I was 21 is different than who I am now, almost 36. And so of course I'm not going to be friends with, you know, those people. I am just going off on a tangent. Sorry.
No,
I'm
don't
just going.
be sorry.
I'm not even answering the question anymore. I'm just going.
No, you did answer the question. You kept going, and
I kept going. Yeah,
you
I do
answered the
that.
question, and that's what I love. And I call that sitting in your personal power and owning your owning your truth. And that's 100, because that brought up something for you. So I'm run.
Things are like dinging. I'm like, oh yeah, that person. I'm thinking of, you know, who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Because
when we do pivot, everything changes. When it comes from people, places, things. When we pivot, it's a crucial part to who we are now. It's that segue of, okay, let's cut this off. I can't do this anymore, and let's go a completely different direction. And whoever wants to come with me can come with me, but I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that.
And people don't like that. Like, you get a lot of, do you know what I mean? Like, people don't like to see people change for the better. Like, I think it makes them look at themselves.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, am I doing the work? Am I, like, you know, I'm still unhappy with myself, or I'm still unhappy with my job or whatever, but Blair is over here, you know, Jay is over here doing these big things. Like, DM me. I'll tell you how I did it, you know, like, don't be mad. Like, you can do it too. It makes them look at themselves. Yeah. And they get jealous. And then it comes off sometimes that we are kind of arrogant about it, but like, I'm excited I'm living my best life. Of course I'm going to talk about it. Right? Like,
heart's full. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, you're mad at me because I'm loving myself.
Right? Because I'm having a good time. Like, no. I mean, again, I'm not for everyone.
Right. And it doesn't rock like that. But what it does rock like is that mirror that we just hold up and reflect off. And then that's why people see you and get mad. And that's why people see me and get salty, because they're like, they're seeing the love that they have for themselves, and they don't have enough. They don't have enough for it to pour
But
out.
they could.
They could.
Everybody can do it.
There's no secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. You don't gotta buy your way.
Everybody's sauce is different. Personalized sauce.
Personalized sauce.
That's not even like.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna come back from that. I don't know.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
If anything, I always have to say if, because not everybody's the same. What advice would you give someone who's trying to stay focused on this fight? Someone who's 3 months in, someone who's 4 months in, 5 months in, but don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Someone who just had the baby and still drinking, or ready to go right back to it, you know?
Right.
What advice or mindset or anything that you can give some would you give?
Well, you know, when I quit, so here's the deal. The last night that I drank is not the day. The next day is not the day that I decided to quit drinking. It was like a day or two later that I actually was like the day after, I was like, it wasn't even on my radar that I wasn't going to do that again. It was a couple days later when I saw something online, and this person I reached out to told me that I didn't have to keep drinking. And, you know, we get so stuck in this like loop of this cycle, and I was too, of like, we do it because we think we need to do it, and we've always done it, and there's no other way. And change is scary, and like, you know, doing things different than we've always done is scary, but like nothing is going to change if you keep doing everything the same way. If you don't want to keep going the same way that you're going, you have to change something. Something has to change, right? If you can't, let's say alcohol, if you can't have 1 or 2 drinks, or, okay, here I am almost 4 years without alcohol, and I still don't understand someone who would just have 1 or 2 drinks. Like, what is the point of that? Like, that's my brain.
Yes.
That, like, what are you doing? Like, just have water. I don't know, you know?
Right.
So that's my brain. If you think that way, like, it's probably not going to be any different the next time you do it. And yes, you can try to moderate it, and you can try to, you know, have 1 or 2, or drink water in between, or all these little tactics that people, you know, try to do. But why? Like, there's so much energy you're putting into that, and like, it's just not like alcohol. You're just like giving alcohol all the power, you know, like, and it's alcohol, like, easy for me to say, right? Easy for me to say, easy for us to say. People are out here, I know people are physically dependent on it, and that's not the people that I'm necessarily talking to. Those people need to go to seek medical, you know, attention if they're going to quit drinking. They need to go to like a rehab, you know, a little more intense. I'm talking to the people that like, not can take or leave it, but just like let it still like hold this power over them, where if we just like think of it as, it's just alcohol. Like, it's just this drink that you're like, you think you need it to relax, or you need it to have fun at the party. Like, it's super hard, but like, try going to the party and not drinking, right? Like, try to do these things, and little by little. It doesn't have to be like a forever thing right away. You could just like notice how you feel, like try to recognize, and you'll notice right away, right? Like, you go to the party for the first time and you don't have a drink, you're like, this feels weird. Yes. Like, and so then you notice, holy crap, this is powerful. Like, this has this power over me. So I would suggest just trying little by little. I was somebody who had to say like, it's over. It's done. Like, like, I've done enough experimenting. I know the outcome. It has to be forever. That's hard for people. Saying forever is hard for people. Just say today, then, you know, don't worry about even the weekend. Like, if it's Tuesday, just don't drink tonight. Tomorrow, you worry about tomorrow, and then so on and so forth. And the more time you get built up, the easier it'll be, you know, to say no, hopefully. And, you know, that's the hope. Or like the social events, like, they'll come in a month or 2. If you have a wedding in a year, like, don't worry about it. Like, just worry about today. Because then by the year the wedding comes, you know, you've had a year of sobriety, or you've had whatever it is, you know, hopefully again. Right. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's hard, because I totally wouldn't believe someone if they told me that 5 years ago, right? Like, or 4 years ago. Like, I'd be like, okay.
Easy for you to say. All
right. But yeah, when someone just told me like, you don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to keep living in this cycle. And I was like more of like a Friday night, it's time to, you know, have a couple bottles of wine, whatever, you know, because I had a hard week at work. I didn't drink a lot during the week. It was just like this weekend binge drinking, you know, even for like one night, I'd go crazy at home by myself half the time, right? Because I'm a mom and I'm home alone or whatever. My husband would be gone. And then I'd be hungover for like 3 days, physically and emotionally. So it was like, that was towards the end. Like, that's what it was. But yeah, someone just said like, you don't have to keep living in that. Like, you don't have to. Try not doing it, you know? And from like the start, I just like totally dove into like all the like the alcohol-free stuff, the podcasts, the books, well, maybe not Instagram right away, but like blogs, and just 100% of my time, that's like what I was doing. Yeah. And so just hearing people talk about it, and their stories, and just hearing people like me too, like that I related to. I found a couple people that like, okay, this person is so similar to me. I'm going to stick with them and watch everything they do and read the blogs that they write and stuff like that. So find somebody like that you can relate to, you know, because again, I'm not for everybody. So somebody's story might not resonate, you know, my story might not resonate with somebody else's, but and that's why I think it's so important that there's so many of us out here talking about it. And there's different ways to quit, or different advice that people give, and things like that. So you can have to pick and choose what you're taking in when it comes to a lot of this stuff. But the biggest thing, you don't have to keep doing it. Giving you permission to just let it go. If it was like dairy, you know, and your doctor said, hey, I think you should stop eating dairy, you would literally just never eat dairy again. Like I mean, I probably still would because I love cheese, but like, so I probably wouldn't give up dairy, but it's just this powerful thing. And I get it. It's, you know, it obviously changes our, you know, brain and things like that, but
it's a very powerful thing. And if anybody's anything like me, and please, and anybody who's listening, right, my friend always says, take what resonates and leave the rest. But it was so powerful for me. And with that, I don't get into the science of it. I'm not. I dive on the human experience of it. Like somebody be like, Jay, you ever gonna drink again? I was like, I don't know if I ever feel like burning down a building, maybe. But it's like, it's the human experience of just, man, I don't gotta live that life. I don't gotta let that have that power over me. Whether that be limiting thoughts, whether that be chocolate, whether that be sweets, whether that be kale. I don't know if somebody's addicted to kale out there. Maybe, but it put it down. You can put it down.
Put down the kale.
Put down the kale.
It's not serving you.
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna switch this up.
Sure.
Last and final question. And this is interesting. But if you could make a 30-second, no. If you could make a 20-second phone call to your future self, what would you say?
How much time do I have to prepare for this call? You know, like I'm an overthinker, and that's like where my mind went right away. You know, I would just say, keep doing what you're doing. It's all gonna work out. You know that life is short, so, you know, try to work on living in the moment. Keep working on that and write about it.
I love that.
That's what I'm working on now. Living in the moment. Hard.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's so hard living in the moment.
I don't do it very well.
I have had to like seriously integrate heart and mind practices of like non-attachment, like actual like let go of hope and let go of fear and sit right here, like actual like. So when I say non-attachment, Susan Piper has a book called The Four Noble Truths of Love. Great book when it comes to deepening your intimate relationships or any type of relationships that you have. But she explains non-attachment into it, and this landed so well with me because it was like the key to my happiness. Because it was letting go of the fear of losing something and letting go of the hope of forever. And rather than just enjoying that person in the moment that you have with them and diving into that human experience and taking that ride to wherever it may go. And then I got to thinking about it. It is always the fear of losing something, grasping onto something. Whether we love it so much, we grasp onto it and we don't want it to change and we don't want it to go anywhere. Or it's the hope of something will last forever. I will love you forever, or I'll be with you forever, or, you know, I don't ever want to see my puppy die, you know. And it is, as I look at my future, But it's those two things that separate us and take us out of the moment. The fear of what was and the hope of what will be. And if we don't resist that helps me so much to stay in the moment. It's like, am I hoping or am I scared? Am I hoping or am I scared?
Yeah. Now I'm like literally trying to think of what I'm doing. Like when I'm just like always 7 steps ahead. Mm-hmm. My brain is.
And that's a beautiful place to be with, because you're prepared. But
I know I'm over prepared, but
no. Oh. I think the most important relationship that you should have in your life is with your future self. I think that relationship with your future self is the most important relationship you should have, because it shapes who you are today, because you have to take actions today to get to where you want to go. And what got you here will not get you there. So you can't take the actions that you took yesterday to get to that place where you want to go. So that relationship that you cultivate and seek counsel with from your future self should be the most important relationship to you. Because who we are now, and that's why I asked you that question, if you could make a 20-second phone call to your future self, what would you say? Because it doesn't matter where we've been. It doesn't matter where we came through. That's what got us here. But what got us here will not get us here. We got to evolve. We got to pivot. We got to keep going. You know, it's so crazy. My mind's been so jumbled on that, or like stuck on that. I don't know if that brought up anything for you.
I know.
I'm sorry.
So good. That's so good. No. I just don't. Yeah, I think it's a parent mom type thinking too of like what I do, you know, like of what are we doing tomorrow and what am I packing on Friday to go somewhere, like those things. You don't. Yes. Like you really do not. Oh. My husband has the opposite of that. He is like, let's just worry about like literally this second. Like it's just like second to second. And I had therapy last week, and I was talking about this, and I said, he's always like, God, I just like wonder what it would be like to have your brain, you know? And then she said, well, can you imagine what would it be like to have his? And I like literally stopped and I thought, and I was like, I can't even imagine that. And I'm really good at imagining things.
I picked that up when you answered that question. I was like, boom, she tapped into her imagination that quick. So a lot of people get scared of that question because they don't know, they don't have a relationship with their future self. So it's a stranger to them.
I have like way too good of a relationship.
That's what I was like, I want that. I want that thing, and I want that.
But it's more of like, you know, I wonder if it's sort of I'm always like, why am I the way I am? Like, let's figure this out. What happened to me? You know, like not like trauma or anything like that, but like just like what led me here, and like why does my brain think that way? And is it this sort of is it me like, I don't know how to say it, like covering my bases so I'm safe? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it I'm so over prepared for everything that's going to happen, and I planned out tomorrow in my head, and then, you know, it's a bad thing because then something will go different and I'll be like, oh, shoot, I didn't prepare for that.
Right. So that's where I was leading. My next question would be like, so what's the reactive stage? Is it a true reaction, or is it a response? Are you able to stop in that moment and pivot, or do you panic? Does everything?
It depends what it is. Mm-hmm. If it's something small, I can usually say, it's fine. We will do this, you know, or we'll do this now or whatever. But sometimes it makes me anxious, and it makes me irritable. You know, if I had a certain plan in my head and then it doesn't go that way. So I'm continuously working on it, and I don't know if there is an end. Like, I just feel like we're always working on ourselves, or we're not. Like, I don't think it's like you get to this point and you're like, okay, I'm good now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever want to be at this point where like, this is good, I'm enough. I mean, I like being comfortable, like I said, but like, it's not like like I'm okay like where I'm at, like with my job, for example. Like I'm good with my job, but like writing, for example, of that, I want that to keep moving forward, so I'm gonna keep working at that. So like I think maybe parts of your life you can be like cool with and comfortable, you know.
Right.
But personal growth even probably is something that we're always doing. It's like different, because you're encountered with all these different things every day, so there's always gonna be something.
I definitely see a cycle there, you know, always, whether it's in this self-healing, or if it's in traumatic healing, or if it's in personal development. I think that there's always that cycle there, and it's really cool that you brought that up. But what comes up if I say, what if you were operating at your truest and highest self? What if there was no rhyme and reason for why your brain acts like that? And
what if I didn't have to figure it out? What if that's just how I am?
What if you're just operating from your truest and highest self?
Yeah.
Always. What if you do?
Tiring.
What if you do have it figured out? What if you have it figured out? You know, to be prepared.
No, I don't think I do. I definitely don't. I know I don't, because I know there's tactics that I can do that I'm not doing. Right? Like I know I can get up and I can do some deep breathing in the morning, or like some like guided meditations, or find more time to move my body, you know, like things like that. Like I know there's stuff that I could be doing that I'm not, but it's not like I'm not drinking, you know, and that was the big thing. So like if I go upstairs after this and I eat a sleeve of Oreos, whatever, like it's not alcohol. So like Oreos aren't ruining my life just yet. Anyways, but yeah, so I know that I can always do better, I think. It's not like ruining my life that I'm not doing better. Like I don't put too much emphasis into it, but like I know that there's stuff that I could do and that I would like to do. And I think it all comes with time too, because like I don't have a lot of time right now. I have a 5-year-old who I have to put a lot of energy into. So like when he's 10, he won't want to play with me as much or whatever, you know? So like there'll be time for everything. But it's priorities too, right? Like where do you put your priorities?
No, that's real. I love that. I just felt like I just got.
It's like a therapy session.
Yo,
I love it. This is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Yay.
What did you expect?
This is like energy. Like I'm gonna be awake for like the rest of the night now. So much energy. Yes,
just peeling back layers. Love it. Getting raw, getting real. That's me. I love that, because it, and like I said, so much comes up for me, and I run with it, and I think you're truly and you're a true inspirator. You are you inspire others. You're a true inspirator, and I commend you, and you're someone who sets a standard and a goal. So thank you for being you, of course. Yeah. Always.
Thanks.
Well.
I mean, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you. You may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you are inspiring people and me. Look, I rhyme. Yeah. but I really like how you shifted from hand over heart. Give yourself more credit. You're doing awesome, being a 5-year-old, accomplishing things that you've done, and going through the things that you've gone through, and making the decisions that you have made hand over heart. I'm super proud of you. Like if that means anything, but
it does.
Because I see you. I promise you, I see you, and it's so interesting because I've been dwelling and kicking around this whole future self relationship for so long, and that's like the state of mind that you live in, you know. And
you need like a middle point. You can't be so
I think you need I think it's like clarity. I think as we start chiseling down at the vision, and we really focus at it and chisel down, that we can really see it. And it's funny that you bring up like guided meditation and breath work and things like that. Yeah, we could do those in the morning, but you know what it really comes down to? Dialogue over discipline. How's your self-talk when you first get up in the morning, before you go make the coffee, before you step outside, before you turn on the water, drink a glass of water? How's the dialogue? How's the check-in? You know, like, because me, I get up every morning at 4:15 in the morning. My self-talk, awful. But I get up, I grab my Bible, I go outside, and I read a verse of the day. Boom, there it is. I come in, gratitude, prayer, and then I hop on Clubhouse. Yes, I love Clubhouse. And it's the dialogue that I have to set first. So I admire that about you. I'm just saying, own that, man.
I don't think too much about self-talk, to be honest. I think I must have got lucky, like genetically or something. Like I think pretty highly of myself.
Yes.
Like, of course, and I think that's a perfectionist. Like, I do feel like I need people to tell me that I'm like doing good. Like, it's weird when someone's like, you're an inspiration, you're my mentor, like you're really like, you're doing a great job. Like if I, make a post on Instagram and people are like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, this is exactly what I needed today. And I'm like, literally just was sitting at my kitchen table and wrote it because it was on my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting and handcrafting these posts. They're just, which is just like, it's just natural to me. It's not like I don't care. It's just natural. And so,
I can go so deep
I got
with
lucky
this.
with, huh?
I can go so deep with this. I love it.
I just don't, I didn't ever hate myself really until it was the drinking that really messed with me at the end, where it was like, why do I keep doing this? They don't deserve me. Well, I'm just going to keep doing this and they can leave if they want, or,
Right.
So my true self without alcohol is, they always say like, when you drink, like that's your true self, like what you're thinking. No, absolutely not. No. I am not that person. There's glimpses of it here and there, right? But it's not, it's definitely not who.
That's the angry inner child. I always say that when I got drunk, the angry inner child would come out and start
center of attention.
Yeah. My true self, my highest self, not when I'm drinking.
No. Yeah.
No.
Fun at times, but
everybody likes throwing a temper tantrum. Like everybody likes throwing one. Nobody likes being a part of one.
No, right, exactly. So, yeah.
Love that. Well, I've kept you way too long. You need to go enjoy your Friday/Tuesday.
Yeah. I've been talking about this all day at work too. Like people hate me at work. I'm like, it's my Friday. Like, there's that like loving yourself, center of attention thing coming through, right?
Yeah. And that's completely okay. I hug myself.
Yeah.
It's okay. No, I love that. This has been absolutely amazing, Blair. Please tell everybody where they can find you at. One takeaway from the conversation that you had, and drop some knowledge for us and close this out, girl.
I don't know about knowledge, but
wisdom.
I don't know about that either.
Yes.
Humor, sarcasm, maybe. That's my defense mechanism. But we should have got into that. That's a whole nother episode, I think.
Part 5.
What are our defense mechanisms, right? So yeah, I'm on Instagram at Sobriety Activist. And I also have a website. It's blairsharp.com. And there I put up all my like podcast interviews and things like that I've been on or featured in. And then also like any writing that I've done. I put on there. I'm also on Facebook. It's just Blair Sharp -writer. And that's kind of the same thing. I just post my my writing there. It's just because some people don't follow me on Instagram, like family and stuff. So they follow me on Facebook or whatever. So just a couple different places, but that's where you can find me. And wisdom, I just like, life is just too short, I don't think I realized that until my dad passed away in 2016, 2 months after I had my son. 2 months after. So I think once you have a big moment like that in your life where you lose somebody really close to you, you just realize like, holy cow, life is short. Like, let's just like have fun. Like, let's just do what makes us happy. Let's be comfortable, right?
Yes.
Wear the sweatpants all
Yes.
day,
All
5
day,
days in a
every
row
day.
if you want.
Every day.
Because like, whatever, you know? So I think comfortable is a huge word for me. I just realized this, like this, well, not even I've known this, but being comfortable is what I want. Financially, right? With wearing my clothes, like physically, financially, mentally comfortable, just comfortable with who you are. That's my word.
Comfortable. Carry that into 22. I want to, yeah, hell yeah. I want to pop up on you in June and be like, what's that word? Comfortable. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing. This has been awesome. One takeaway from it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, I've never really thought about like the future self thing, and like, so I'm going to dig into that a little bit more. And, well, we talked about like, we know my future self is 7 steps ahead, but, I'm not super intentional like about myself in the future either. It's more about like these actions and like tasks that I need to check off. So it might be more, maybe I should focus all that energy just in a different way, like to who I want to be in the future versus like what I'm going to do in the future.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe?
Bing, bing,
did I just come up with that? Okay. I think that's what I'm gonna, that's because maybe my brain doesn't turn off. Maybe it is always 7 steps ahead, but it's always like these check marks, and it's not just like centering who I am in the future.
Yes. Moving from the head and dropping into the heart, dropping into the body. Dropping into the body. And it's okay if that's seven steps ahead in the future, or if that's right now. But still, at some point, we got to move from the head to the heart and integrate. Always.
Yes.
I love that. That's so good. This has been really good. This has been really
so good.
Yeah, like you said, therapy session.
I knew it was going to be so good. I knew it. I had high expectations, and it deliver. I mean, we're good.
Yes. Knock that out of the park. There we go. I think we set the tone for your weekend. So
yes.
Happy holidays. Protect your energy. Protect your soul. Protect your love. Always, 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 always. Life is sacred. Death is forever present. Lead with generosity and unconditional love. Please.